Hello everyone, it's me and Winston. We're just messing around with our Chinese diesel heater here. There's two versions, and actually I accidentally bought two. So this is the one I bought. It has Bluetooth and everything. This is why I wanted it, because this one, which I ordered first and then tried to cancel and got a confirmation from Amazon that it was canceled, but they sent it to me anyways, so I'll just send it back depending on which one I like better. So this actually kind of works out. But I didn't realize how much of a whole rigmarole this is. Like, I'm sure to some people this is super easy, but if you check out my unboxing, there's a whole bunch of parts, and it seemed really simple. But the biggest no for me is this is the fuel tank, which is a good size. That's one major advantage this has over this bad boy. This is a 10-liter tank. I believe this is only a 1-gallon tank. I'm sorry, I'm switching metric imperial. But the thing about this is there's no pre-drilled outlet or hole, and it's not through the lid, which I checked. But I don't want to have to cut and measure and run fuel lines and risk having stuff leak all over. So I've gone ahead and taken this out of the box. One major advantage now that I've got it out, and like I said, I've seen all the parts and how much fueling and rigmarole I have to do. This one is a lot smaller. I'm sure it'd be a lot more awesome to have the fuel tank in the back of my truck where it's separate, so I don't have to worry about spilling diesel. Like I said, this holds a lot more. But this just being a simple go-to, like, I've done solar, I've done all this myself, but this fuelness plus heat kind of worries me. So we may just go with the base unit. I'll get that going, but let's just open her up just to see. This isn't really even an official video. I apologize if this isn't up to my Shakespearean, Spielbergian standards. So I've gone ahead and taken this cover off. These are the guts of the thing. They are essentially the same. This in there is basically just that. Everything is just separate. Fuel tank is on top. As I said, this is, I think, is about 3 liters, maybe more. This is apparently 10 liters, so quite a bit bigger. A lot more space hugging. This lets you spread it out a bit more, especially if you're in a smaller space. If you're in something like a Sprinter van, I would definitely recommend going this way. But all the guts are internal, put away. There's one thing to hook up. I just hook it up to my DC power. This has a whole schmeng of you. It's a separate fuel filter, which is not inline intern. It all has to be manually hooked up to this bad boy. I'm sure you could snip it and cut it. So all the parts of these are essentially the same. This is just kind of the Mac all-in-one. This one, I'm sure you could do some cool customization. But I think in terms of familiarity and just sanity, we're gonna install this one. Worst case, we have all of our pipes and exits and things where they need to be. If we decide to go with the smaller, more complicated one, we can go ahead and just swap out the fittings, hopefully, because the pipes are all the same size. All this and this stuff are identical on both units. And if you don't believe me, this came with this. This is what came with that. So my only real downside of this guy, why I didn't want it, was because there are a number of reviews saying they couldn't get the remote to sync. This has a hardwired LCD screen, which is part of that whole thing. It has a much simpler upgraded remote. There is an upgraded version of this available on the website that I believe they learned from their mistakes and made a kind of a hybrid of the two. But for just sanity, simplicity, like I said, I'm fairly handy. I built this thing myself. I like to think I'm fairly competent, but just having something running diesel fuel in the place that I live, combined with heat, it's going to be a no for me, dog. We're going to go with the little baby one. So again, I apologize for putting this off. We're going to make a proper installation video with the new one, and we can always return whichever one we like the least. So stay tuned. If you're in the future, you will know how this turned out. But for me right now, we are swimming in dark waters. We don't know what we're doing.